So we're talking about how to crush your weekend children's church experience. We're going to build a bridge to kids and then turn on a light. And so instead of just teaching a lesson, we want to create an experience. Now, there's two things that I love to do in that kind of environment. And we're going to talk about one of them today. But number one, I love competition. We'll talk about that. And secondly, I love interruptions. We'll talk about that in an upcoming video. But listen, if you're not using competition, you're going to lose the boys. It's just the way it is. Now, girls pretty much like it too, but boys are just wired that way. I love the cartoon I saw a long time ago. This kind of an elderly lady was standing behind kind of a podium looking thing, and it looked like a deacon or some man was talking to her, and he says this to her. He says, "Think, Mrs. Johnson, where were the kids the last time you looked up?" Well, sadly, sometimes that's the way we do things. You know, children's, we kind of look down our lesson plan, or we read our scripture, and we're just kind of disengaged. We've turned the kids into spectators rather than participants, and we're just doing our thing, and we have no idea that they're just completely disconnected. In that case of the cartoon, the kids just left the room. Now, that doesn't usually happen, but the point is, you want to do things in a way that connect with kids to get them to participate. Now, 4 reasons why you ought to use competition. Number 1, if you don't, you're going to lose the boys. Number 2 is very motivating. I mean, if you have 2 sides of the room, one team can motivate the other side of the room. One team can motivate the other team just to do better. It's like, if that team can do it, well, we can do it too. So it's motivating. Thirdly, it's about real life. Listen, kids need to learn how to lose, and they need to learn how to win. And this is a safe environment where they can learn that. It's a microcosm of real life. And fourthly, when you do games and certain kinds of competition, it really helps your kids to connect with the leaders, because the leaders have to help them do something, help them get ready, help them instruct them for the game or whatever. So it provides a real opportunity to develop some rapport between the kids and the workers. So how do you set up this whole competition thing? Well, it's very simple. You just divide the sides of your room. Either have a center aisle or you have a rope down the middle. But just by virtue, and here's the beauty of it, just by virtue of coming into the room and sitting down, guess what? You're on a team. You're already in kind of a participation mode. Just by sitting there, you're either on the mosquitoes or the jellyfish or the blue team or the green team or whatever it is, just by virtue of being there. So you want to divide the sides. Next, you just want to give away points. You don't have to give away, you can give away stuff. You don't have to buy prizes and all that. Points are cheap. That's the big secret. You can give away 1,000 points, costs the same as giving away 100 points. Points are cheap, so you can give away a lot of points, and kids just love it. It's motivating, and you have a lot of fun with it. Now, here's 3 don'ts. Number 1, don't separate your ages. Don't put the younger ones on one side and the older ones on the other side. Keep the ages pretty much the same across the board. And you can put the younger ones up front, but don't put younger ones on one side and have all your older kids on the other team. That's not fair. And don't make a crazy big deal out of who wins or loses. You don't make a huge deal out of it. You just have this game goes to the mosquitoes. This one goes to the jellyfish, whatever. You just don't have to make a big deal out of it. The kids will already like the excitement of just winning a game. No big deal. And thirdly, don't allow booing. You're never allowed to get nasty. Nobody gets to boo. Rule of thumb, if you boo the other side, we take points off of your side and give it to the side that you booed. So no booing. Now, as we come up in upcoming videos, I'm going to give you all kinds of examples of different kinds of games you can play just for fun, games that teach, review games. I like all of it. But games are a hugely fun and motivating tool. We're going to talk about just other ways for competition, what we call shouts. There's just all kinds of ways to get points, to have a lot of fun, to create this experience where kids will go home just talking about what happened in children's church. And that's what we want.